Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into weight loss, but maybe not how you usually think about it.
Right. We're moving past just the mechanics, the diets, the drugs even.
Exactly. We're looking at it through the lens of someone named Dan Hollis. He has this really unique perspective on the whole journey.
Yeah, we're going to unpack his ideas. He talks a lot about what happens beyond the medication, like semaglutide, the deeper stuff.
Things that often get missed.
The emotional side, the psychology of it all.
So our goal here really is to explore how something like semaglutide can be more than just a weight loss drug. Dan Hollis calls it a kind of pause button.
Or a reset, yeah.
A reset, right. A chance to do the emotional work, the identity work that he says is key for, making change last. It's about using that quiet moment it creates.
Okay, so let's start there with that quiet moment.
Yeah, this was one of the first things in Dan's work that really struck me. He talks about the quiet that happens when food cravings just stop. He put it like this, the quiet. I didn't realize how loud food was in my life until the cravings were gone. The silence was unsettling and strangely beautiful.
Kind of powerful, right?
It really is. And that quiet, it doesn't just mean lack of physical hunger. It actually reveals something else, a different kind of hunger.
Emotional hunger.
Exactly. Dan Hollis defines it really well. He says, emotional hunger sounds as a craving, but it's actually a question, a need asking to be seen.
Question. Wow.
Yeah. So when the physical noise dies down, suddenly you might notice, oh, I'm lonely, or I'm bored, or stressed, maybe even happy. All these feelings that maybe got tangled up with eating.
Right, because for so many people, food becomes, well, it's comfort, isn't it?
Comfort, control sometimes.
Yeah, or even part of who you are, your identity. So Dan says when that goes quiet, it can feel like losing a friend.
Leaves this kind of void.
An emotional gap you suddenly have to figure out what to do with. Okay, so that quiet, that space, is created often by medications like semaglutide. Maybe just quickly touch on how those work again, for anyone less familiar.
Sure. So semaglutide, you might know it as Ozempic or Wegovy. It's what's called a GLP-1 receptor agonist.
Right. Fancy term.
Yeah, basically it mimics a hormone your gut naturally produces. It helps you feel full, slows down digestion a bit, tells your brain, hey, we're good here.
And that's what creates the physiological quiet Dan talks about. It reduces those constant hunger signals.
Precisely, which frees up bandwidth, mentally and emotionally.
But crucially, it's not magic.
No, and Dan Hollis is really clear on this. He reframes it. He says, semaglutide isn't the solution, it's the signal.
The signal. I like that.
Or another way he put it, it's not a shortcut, it's a pause button, a reset, a chance to build new systems while the noise gets quiet. But then he adds the key part. But only if you know what to do with that silence.
Yeah, and that's critical, because without some kind of plan, some support, that silence, it could just feel confusing, right? Maybe even amplify anxiety for some.
That makes sense.
So his point is really sharp. Semaglutide isn't the solution to emotional eating. It's the silence that lets you find one. It just creates the opportunity.
Clears the stage, so to speak.
Exactly. So you can hear what's really going on underneath.
Okay, but what about the whole cheating argument? You hear that a lot with these medications.
Oh, yeah. That comes up constantly.
Dan tackles that directly. I thought this was brilliant. He says, if your body's biochemistry is rigged against you, using science to unrig it isn't cheating. It's adapting.
Adapting.
And then he adds, the real cheat is pretending willpower was enough.
Wow. That really flips the script on decades of, blaming people.
Totally. It
Yeah.
acknowledges the biology,
Yeah.
hunger, metabolism. It's complicated. It's not just about gritting your teeth.
Right. And that connects to why weight regain or relapse is so common.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Hollis points out it's often not because the medication failed. It's because no one helped them rebuild the emotional framework that food used to support.
So the underlying stuff wasn't dealt with.
Exactly. The coping mechanisms, the emotional needs, they're still there. And if that silence isn't filled constructively, the old patterns can easily rush back in.
Okay, so the silence reveals the need for deeper work. What does that work look like? Dan talks about connection, right?
He does. He says, often you didn't lose control. You lost connection.
Connection to what?
To your hunger cues, to your purpose, to yourself. That's the core of it. Rebuilding that connection. That's what we help you rebuild. It goes way beyond just food.
So lasting change isn't just about diet rules.
No, not primarily. He calls it identity work. Fundamentally changing how you see yourself and relate to the world.
Identity work.
Yeah. He says you don't hold on to weight loss with discipline, you hold on to it with alignment.
Alignment. What does that mean exactly?
It means becoming internally consistent,
Yeah.
becoming the kind of person who doesn't need weight loss as a project anymore. It's not about forcing it from the outside, but letting it emerge from the inside. Who you are.
That sounds like a much more sustainable way to think about it.
Yeah.
Less like a constant battle.
Right. And it means every habit needs attention. He says every pound lost means a habit must be replaced, not just removed.
Replace the snack, but also replace the story behind why you reached for it.
Exactly. Replace the story, not just the snack. That's a great way to put it.
So how does Dan Hollis actually help people do this?
He doesn't just explain the problem, he offers solutions, right? A map, he calls it.
Yeah, he provides a framework. One of his core ideas is pattern mastery over perfection.
Pattern mastery.
Meaning, you learn to understand your own patterns, what triggers you, how you respond, and navigate them flexibly. He argues that if your plan can't handle a slice of cake without spiraling, it's based on fear, not resilience.
Right. Real life involves cake sometimes.
Exactly. So it's about building skills to handle real life, not creating rigid rules you're bound to break eventually.
He also talks about the pace of weight loss, doesn't he? Not rushing it.
He warns against going too fast. While it might seem appealing, really rapid loss can sometimes trigger the body to slow down metabolism, make it harder long term. So it's like his quote, "You're not here to win the race, you're here to finish it."
Precisely. Building something sustainable. A marathon mindset.
And what about people who feel like they've tried everything and failed? There's often so much shame tied up in that.
Oh, absolutely. And his response to that is really, well, it's hopeful. He basically says, good.
Good.
Yeah, good. That means you've tested what doesn't work. Now let's build what does with tools that match your biology, not shame your behavior.
Wow. Turning failure into data.
Exactly. Removing the shame and just getting curious. Let's figure out what does work for you. And he stresses doing it in public, together, meaning like in a supportive community, not hiding away.
You can really feel his personal connection to this. He doesn't sound like just an academic.
No, not at all. He shares that openly. He says, I lived it. I was the guy who couldn't lose weight, who felt broken, who was ashamed to ask for help. I built this so nobody has to go through that alone again. That personal experience, that empathy, it shapes everything.
Yeah, you can hear it. It leads to a different approach.
Totally. It's all about empathy, awareness, and curiosity. Instead of, judgment, rigid rules, punishment, those things don't heal emotional hunger. They often make it worse.
It's a shift from self-blame to self-understanding.
Self-compassion, really, that's a foundation.
So, if it's not just about the scale, how does Dan Hollis define success?
Great question. He says success is measured not by the number on the scale, but by how many coping mechanisms we've replaced with real tools.
Okay.
And then he adds this: weight loss is a side effect of clarity.
Whoa. A side effect of clarity. That turns everything on its head.
Doesn't it? The focus shifts entirely. It's about internal growth, getting clear on what you need and how to meet those needs healthily. The weight loss follows naturally from that.
It's about healing then.
Yes. He calls the whole process repair, not punishment.
Repair. I like that.
And his advice for going through it: trust the process, but more importantly, stay in a relationship with yourself while you do it. Don't abandon yourself in the pursuit of change.
Stay kind to yourself through it all.
Yes. Be an ally to yourself, not a critic.
He also shared when he personally felt real hope kick in. It wasn't about the weight itself.
Right. He said, it wasn't when I saw the number drop. It was when I went to bed and didn't feel like I had to start over the next day.
Breaking that cycle. The I'll start again tomorrow loop.
Exactly. That feeling of being free from the constant struggle, the shame, that's the real liberation.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what we've really explored today, thanks to Dan Hollis' insights, is how medications like semaglutide can open this incredible window.
Yeah, a window for doing much deeper work, intentional work.
On the emotional stuff, on identity.
Yeah.
Using that quiet time not just to lose weight, but to build totally new ways of coping and living.
It's a biological assist that creates space for psychological transformation.
And Dan Hollis sums up that transformation so well. Maybe we end with this quote.
He says, healing isn't flashy, it's quiet, it's intentional. It's the slow layering of new choices, new thoughts, and new systems, all built during that sacred window that semaglutide creates.
Slow layering. It takes time. It's not instant.
It's patient work.
So a final thought for you listening. What really resonated with you from this deep dive today? If you had that kind of pause or window, in your own life? Maybe not for medication, but just space. How could you use it to connect more deeply with what you're truly hungry for beyond just food?